Welcome back, everyone. It's Noble, your FPS coach. Today in this video, I'm going to go over the 5 tips that can help you improve your game now and establish the best habits for Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's moveset looks very similar to Halo 5, just without the boost, so we're going to focus on what we can learn from the pros in Halo 5. If you've ever wondered why the pros have such great KDs, it starts with how they approach situations. So I'm going to show you how they use movement and positioning to play their lives and get so many kills. First, I'm going to go over a tip, I'm going to explain it, and show you an example. I've gotten all these tips from reviewing gameplay. If you want to review gameplay with me, happy to do so. If you don't do film review, you should, which I discussed in my last video. That being said, let's get right into it. Tip number 1, fight around corners. This will allow you to disengage at will and escape with your life, as well as steal a kill or two from time to time. A lot of the power positions revolve around spots that allow you to do the most damage without putting yourself in a position to die, which means they have a lot of routes for escape. So you have a traditional situation here. Player spawns car, knows he needs to take control of the base, and he has no indication of where the enemy team is by callouts or gunshots, etc. What he does is different than most players is he doesn't slide straight into the base, he slides into the corner. And this is brilliant because it allows him to engage, but still gives him the ability to disengage if he doesn't like what he sees when he rounds the corner, which, judging from this clip and the player outlines, you know it's not going to be favorable, right? He rounds the corner, sees 2 people, and knows if he wants to survive, he can't fight both of them. So he immediately starts to back up, allowing him to have a one-on-one with one of the players while blocking the line of sight of the other. He also knows that if he continues to back up, it's going to pull the teammate into the line of sight of his teammates behind him. Survives with a nice little boost around the corner, buys time so his teammates can come in and clean up the kill. From there, they have a numbers advantage and can take pretty much any position on the map that they want, for the most part. The best part about this is, even without the teammate support, most people kill that player and escape with their life as long as they have a boost. Which is a great segue into tip number 2. Tip number 2, don't boost slide around corners. If you're doing this for safety or to rejoin teammates, fine. But specifically, don't just boost slide for the sake of speed, moving somewhere. This is bad for 3 reasons. You no longer have your boost, you're out in the middle of the open, and your trajectory is flat. With my first point, fighting around the corner, it talks about how it's valuable because you can disengage and survive. If you fly out into the open, you've generally lost your ability to run away, which means your only option is to fight, but you're at an immediate disadvantage because your opponent has their boost and you don't. And if they catch you early enough, you can't strafe because of your momentum. So this one's pretty simple, right? You end up on radar, you are heard, and if I catch you while you're sliding, you can't change your trajectory, which makes you an incredibly easy target, right? Am I saying that boost sliding is always bad? No, there are situations where it makes sense, when you need to be quick or capture a flag sometimes. But I'm gonna go back to my previous clip to show you how differently that situation could have gone if you slid straight into the base. Just as a reminder, they all survive, they kill 2 people, have control of the map, right? If he flies into the base with his boost, just look at where the fight would take place, right? So if you move all the way over here to the center of the base where you land with the boost slide, look at where his teammates are, right? If he boost slides to this dead body or close to it, it doesn't encourage those players to move out into the open at all, which is, if you see after a few shots, one of his teammates backs up and shoots from the car side. Both of them are somewhat in front of the window, but they'll likely move out of sight of the teammate that's top mid, right? Not to mention, probably dies so quickly that he doesn't get enough damage on the player so that when his teammate does fly into the base, like you'll see here, he would be pinched on both sides or have two people bearing down on him at once without distraction. This is how important fighting around the corner is, right? And if you boost slide around corners or just into rooms, you lose that ability. Tip number 3, know when to engage. Just because you can see someone and have the ability to escape easily doesn't always mean shooting at the enemy is your best option. This one is extremely complicated and very situational. It's because Halo's like chess sometimes. So what I mean by this is, if you go back to our previous tips, the first one, fight around the corner, this player right now can escape the situation pretty easily. And so what a lot of players do is they just shoot top mid and tunnel. And you'll see what this player does is he immediately starts to shoot top mid. Kills one player because he's got a teammate car. Now, this is the situation that I think most people play incorrectly. Look where your teammates are. Kid from car, dead. No one's on P. If you fight this kid and he stays behind the bubble, how do you kill him? Well-placed grenade? Sure. Had to cut there to move the camera. It was really slow. But realistically, you're not going to kill this kid if he's smart and plays behind the bubble unless you have a teammate, top P or top car. If your teammate isn't in position to get the kill, or you're the first one to spawn, sometimes the damage you take is more detrimental than any help you could have provided. You really need to know when to engage. There are times, however, when it is vital for control of the map for you to fight. I think to Plaza on Blue Wing when your team is inside control. You very likely won't kill anyone who comes up to top gold, as they'll just back up. But that's imperative in order for your team to maintain control. Tip number 4. Pre-Nading is good, Post-Nading is bad. Fighting in Halo often ends in a stalemate where the weaker person rounds the corner to escape death. They also really like the challenge, and generally they take advantage of the few seconds it takes to throw a grenade to get a few extra shots in and turn the tide. When reviewing film, this is the type of clip I typically see that people use as justification for why they throw grenades where they do. They get a sick reversal. But this player got lucky as shit. He should have died. And if you're gonna die, by all means, throw your grenades. But when you have the advantage and someone rounds the corner and you throw a grenade to prevent them from popping back out, how often do you get that kill? 1, 2 times out of 10? You're more likely to do damage to your teammate who's trying to clean up the kill than kill that player. And furthermore, how many of those times that you do kill the enemy can you kill them when your pistol can't? Right? They use those 1 or 2 instances to justify that behavior. Save your grenades. They're often wasted. Even when you're about to die. Most of the time you're not going to do damage with grenades thrown from a distance because of boost. Whereas your pistol can do consistent damage, even if it's 1, 2, or 3 shots. That could be vital for a teammate who's going to clean up the kill. Tip number 5, shoot the danger. This is by far the most situational and requires the most game knowledge to evaluate properly. In general, I'd say shoot the kid who's most likely to shoot you, but in a team game, it's really the enemy who is the most detriment to your team. Just for example, that could be the flag carrier or a kid with a sniper rifle. I'm gonna show this in slow motion because I want you to watch this unfold and explain the thought process about who you should engage with. Because it has to happen in a split second. But, that's weird. I think that's the own body. That's a glitch. But Right? Two players are shooting at Tom. This player rounds the corner. And Cell, right? He's starting to back off, and he's actually one shot. Who do you shoot at? Well, Tom is one shot, and he's about to die. One player stays to continue fighting him. The right answer is you should shoot at the same person that Tom is shooting at. Cell is no longer a danger to him, and you want to try to keep him alive, right? In this situation, he ends up getting both kills. Tom, unfortunately, dies. But you do more damage as a team, and you give Tom the best chance to survive, which is better for the team overall. I'm going to go to my handy-dandy paint to explain it in a different way. Boom! Take a look at this fancy software. It's expensive. To be the best, this is the kind of sacrifice you have to make. Buy software like this. Alright, so the red squares and blue squares just represent teammates, 2-on-2, right? For this situation, let's just pretend that both hit 5 shots perfectly and are 5 shields. The only difference is one group is going to be firing individually, the other is going to have a team shot, right? So maybe I should just do an arrow here. The red team, they're firing individually, right? The blue team, they're going to be firing at a specific person before they start shooting someone else. Got to do a custom arrow there. Scientific, yes, yes, yes. All right, so if they shoot 3 shots, this person right here will be 2 shot. This person right here, 2 shot. This person, he'll be dead. And this person will have full health. Right, you think about that. Both players have put 3 shots to this player. He's 5 shots to death. And, right, dead. Self-explanatory. Now, the next sequence of events is that these 2 players are going to fire here, while this player continues to shoot here. What's going to end up happening, right, after 2 more shots, this player ends up 1 shot, and the blue player is dead. And this one's left with 2 shots. Yes, fancy diagrams. You come here for the best production in the business. So this is just simple. After 2 more shots, he's killed this player. These players have put 4 shots into this red guy right here. So the resulting situation is a 1-on-1 with this player being up 1 shot in a perfect world. Remember that these situations are in aggregate. There will be times when you don't do these or you do the opposite and things work out. But don't use that as a reason to continue doing them, or you'll end up on the wrong end of things more often than not. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like and subscribe. My other social media is down in the description below. As always, put your questions in the comments. I will reply. And I'll see you in the next video.
Into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe